This is Ian Bailey with Ian on Torah. Today we're speaking about the Midah of Hod, the Sefirah of Hod. We discussed last week that Netzach and Hod are put together a lot. They're very synonymous. And we said that Netzach has the idea that a prat can be chashivut without the claw. That, in other words, all of these Sefirot have underlying concept, essential idea. And Netzach is that if you have facts or individuals, they need to fit into pre-existing principles of knowledge and truth. But Hod is the sort of the inverse, that the individual, the prat, can be chashuv without the claw. An individual person can be considerate, can be considered important without the group. A fact can be unique and special without necessarily grinding it up, because you have what? Intuition. We have a human brain that helps us understand that something can be true without necessarily, scientific reason. We'll get into that in a second. Let me just put that in my notes. Chokhmah Bina. All right. So Hod and Hadar are often put together. Hadar is something that when something has a superficial aesthetic appearance that makes you go back and have reverence for it. Hod is an inner specialness that you're drawn to it, that you like it. It's not the same thing as charisma. That's going to be Yesod next week. But Hod is something very comfortable, very nice, very aglow, something pleasant about it. And that's why the Kohanim are associated with Hod. They're the people that are leaders that we look up to. So it's sort of like my hero. Watch him as he goes, my hero, we look up to them. It's not a charisma, but it's a comfort. It's looking up to someone. And in the desert, we have individual leaders coming along and molding the Jewish people and leading them and saving them. This is very much seen mostly in the book of Bamidbar, Numbers, where we have many individuals coming forth, bringing forth new clarifications in the law, new protection of the Jewish people, the daughters of Slavchad. And then you have Pinchas, challenges to Korach, and you have Yehoshua being appointed as a leader. There are people that are chashuv, not just Moshe and his truth. There are leaders that help mold and help to develop and shepherd the Jewish people. So Aaron does not have a lot written about him. And from the Jewish tradition standpoint, Hod is sort of like a fire on a wick. It's something that's way more intangible. It's something that is not as much textual and nitty-gritty and tangible, like Netzach and Moshe. And that Moshe and his wisdom are everywhere. But the quintessential sentence, it really highlights who Aaron is. In Exodus 4:27, God tells Aaron to go and to welcome Moses as he comes to Egypt. And Aaron does this, and he kisses him, and he is happy with he greets him with happiness. And if he would have known, our sages say, if he would have known that he would have been written down, he would have greeted him with even more song and happiness. So, if someone's coming to take your job, usually you want to fight them, and you're just disgruntled and you're upset. But to have someone who is, he considers an individual to be important, is someone who he considers him to be so. It's so wonderful that Moses can come and lead the Jewish people. It's so wonderful. Moses can come and lead the Jewish people, and it's not going to be me. I mean, there's just the amount of empathy and care for other people that has is why we have a tradition about Aaron, that he would make peace between people. So I hate to get nitty gritty here, but midrash, it could be historical fact. All the commentaries in the Torah, the stories, it could be historical fact, but it's not really meant to be that. It's meant to be highlighting something about the person, usually in the text. Here we don't have a lot of text, but what our sages say about Aaron and making peace between people, getting rid of problems between people, asserting a positive triangular relationship there, putting himself in there. We believe it happened, but if it didn't, it's highlighting this fact that Aaron, if Aaron could be happy with someone taking his job, how much more so he could be happy with everyone's success. So we personally should realize that individuals should be considered important outside of the general bastions of MS and analytic thought. We have to have a good bedside manner. It's more important to empathize with people than to prove them wrong. How many times do people want to listen to you prove them wrong? We know it's very little. The best thing you can do is empathy. Psychological studies show someone talks to you, your kid talks to you, give them empathy. Later on they'll figure out they shouldn't be doing that anymore. Stop playing with little Johnny because he's bothering you. Empathy, empathy, empathy. Validate, validate, validate. That has to exist alongside of truth and alongside of disproving people and arguing with them. That is Hod and Netzach, brothers in arms, brotherhood arms. And that is a basic aspect of Hod. where it is in the desert is in the leaders, and we all need to find unique specialness in other people in order to care for them, to consider them important, and to bring forth our own empathy and care.